And David Bowie's Heroes is the consolation prize. Like, what is this supposed to mean? Like, this is supposed to be a song about people being heroes and having forbidden love, even at the moment of their death. A heroic love. And you couldn't even hint at it. Hi, it's Ronald Off the Record, adding an introduction to my reaction to the Stranger Things finale, The Rightside Up. I'm also known as the Byler Lawyer for being a lawyer who has made long-form videos demonstrating how the show 100% prepared a romantic relationship between Mike and Will. Instead, the show queerbaited, cynically and cruelly using Byler to draw in queer and queer-friendly viewers, and came up with an ending that left many loose ends hanging, contradicted Mike, Will, and Elle's character arcs, and ultimately was a disservice to all their characters. So why am I posting these reactions when I was ultimately wrong about my predictions about Mike and Will? First of all, I was only mostly wrong, as they still live on in subtext, and there are many general audience members who came out of the finale thinking Mike and Will were together, proving how compelling and powerful their relationship was. But it's canon that they did not, and there are 3 reasons I still post these videos. First, and you don't have to be a Byler to agree with this, much of the fandom realized after the finale that we overestimated the abilities of the showrunners. I post these videos because I think I demonstrate in my theories and predictions before and after each reaction that I and many fans could have done this season better than the Duffer Brothers. I say things that remembered the questions they had raised in their own story. I was attentive to details, I was trying to build a cohesive and rewarding narrative, and I was predicting a story that furthered the creators' stated mission of uplifting the marginalized and outcast, all of which they did not do. Second, I post these videos to document how the Duffer Brothers, Sean Levy, and Netflix queerbaited us. You will see that this gay lawyer in his 40s who had learned to temper his expectations about queer love in life and in media, who once denied the possibility of Byler and, like nearly everyone, assumed Mike was straight, had been convinced, and had been making videos about it, that Byler would happen. Convinced by what the showrunners had done, as documented by me and many other creators, and by the fact that the creators did not dismiss Byler would happen for years, waiting only until the end of the show before making clear it would not happen. Up through the final minutes of the finale, I still maintained hope and still saw narrative through lines through which Byler could still happen. The Duffer Brothers are now on record claiming that they knew 10 years ago that Byler would not be canon, which, if true, would make their crime even worse because they did nothing to dismiss the speculation for years. They acknowledged that they were aware of the Byler fandom and had the gall to call the mostly queer fans who make up this ship noise to be blocked out. This is all a failed attempt at gaslighting, and they proceeded to do even more to build up Byler in Season 5. They had Will again have hope that Mike returned his feelings after Will gave up on Mike at the end of Season 4. They had Robin tell Will, and us the audience, what signs to look for and to look for a snowball building up into an avalanche. They included Mike and Will's childhood flashbacks. They made sure Mike and Elle did not show signs of intimacy before Elle's final moments. They inserted gay sexual references and undeniable Easter eggs to the Byler fandom, all while the lie about Will's painting to Mike at the end of Season 4 was unresolved. When all of us knew that Mike could only say he loved Elle when Mike fell in love with Will's feelings and Will's painting, all of which he falsely attributed to Elle, all of which is thoroughly documented in my videos. They did all of this knowing that they would eventually betray us in what feels like a massive homophobic hazing of the queer community. Never has there been such a long-running, calculated, and malicious queerbait. Lastly, I post these videos from a time before I knew that this would be a queerbait, for the obvious reason, to make clear that we Bylers have nothing to be ashamed of. It's the Duffer Brothers, Sean Levy, and Netflix who do. We follow the story that the Duffer Brothers made it look like they were telling and never dispelled. My theories and predictions that I make in these videos are evidence of their failings as writers, and my hope is a chronicle of their cruelty. Now, onto the finale. You'll first see my theories going into this episode, and there's something interesting I've noticed, which is that in the first half of Season 5, my predictions tended to be pretty correct, but as the season went on, they tended to be more incorrect, which is interesting, and I'll note that mentally for the future. And I think I join an emerging consensus among fans now that the theories that we came up with as fans and predictions for certain character arcs were better than what the Duffers came up with. The biggest surprise is where you'll see my BylerMeter is at. Remember that I had avoided the internet and that I had not seen a particular interview with the Duffer Brothers. And I assumed that they wouldn't just drop a bunch of things that they had clearly set up. I didn't think that they'd be bad writers. Also, sorry, I'm super stretched thin with many projects, including some scripted videos on this channel, and so I only had time to edit my reactions to a few scenes. So it's scenes that I think Bylers will find interesting, and also my reaction to Kali, which I include on principle. Her character has reserved undeserved hate because the Duffer Brothers underdeveloped her this season. In fact, she's the only minor character the Duffer Brothers killed off in a season where they did not make sure the audience loved that person before they died. Which is problematic for a number of reasons. I'll say she's, the one woman of color there's Erica, but they never tie her into a serious arc. But for them to treat her this way is pretty wrong. And to be an exploited, traumatized, abused girl on top of all that. You'll probably be surprised by my reaction to the infamous Mike and Will radio tower scene. I expected several Byler scenes in this episode, and so I thought what happened was just a mere stepping stone. Before Mike confessed his love, I expected more build-up for the audience and for some big event to prompt it, such as Will needing the strength to fight Vecna, or Will is about to die and Mike realizes he can't lose him. Because after all, Will was tied to the hive mind and that whole connection was dropped. Hello? Just as I didn't think Hopper was dying in episode 4, I didn't see Mike confessing in the scene at any point. Also, I don't have a post-analysis after this reaction, unlike with the other episodes, because my videos ever since have been my take on how this finale wrapped up the show. Final plug to subscribe to my channel. I am reacting to Heated Rivalry and also consulting my Patreon on what shows and movies I should look at next. Support my Patreon too if you want early access to most of my videos and exclusive content, including my full reactions to things. Okay, so on to the episode. Alright, it's Ronald off the record. I'm about to watch the finale to Stranger Things. First, to introduce myself, I am a lawyer with the civil rights group BAM, By Any Means Necessary. I make videos about entertainment I enjoy, and I try to bring analysis and heart to the conversation. And I'm also known as the Byler Lawyer. Byler refers to the romantic possibility between Mike and Will. And whether my theories and my videos about this are going to be correct are about to be revealed in this episode. On my predictions for this episode, first I want to pat myself on the back for predicting the plan of Vecna to merge Dimension X with the real world. I said that back in episode 4. Elle has the biggest death flag on her. She is going to... I've said on my channel that I don't think it's necessary for characters to die. I don't join that popular, trendy opinion because I think this is kind of a show that is inspired by different works that don't necessarily require people to die. It's not Game of Thrones. And I have Elle on the list last because I have generally predicted that she's, as one of the central characters, central young characters, is, and so also someone who's an inspiration for people who come out of abusive, traumatic, awful childhoods, is going to survive. And, you know, when you have a big death flag, one of the things you want to do in a finale is set things up so that you can mislead people. Hello? I don't think she's going to die. Now, also, there's a mixed reaction to the coming out scene that I want to address, coming from various quarters, not all from the same place, and sometimes conflicting quarters. First, you know, there's just homophobia against Will. He was a badass in episode 4. He was popular then. He, snapped some demogorgons. He looked like a conventional hero. But here he is being a hero in a different way. And I actually am happy that there's a portrayal of heroism in an unconventional way. Because there are daft idiots, homophobic idiots out there who are just thinking he's trying to get attention, that the world is about to end and he wants to make it about him. Fuck you. Right? Did you not catch the fact that he was talking to when he talked to Joyce, that he's trying to deny Vecna a weapon, and that he's fucking trying to directly take on Vecna? Not in a mindscape where you're presumably safe, but directly in the physical world, you motherfuckers. You know? And he's preparing himself for the battle. He's 2-3 days ago, he was this closeted gay boy who didn't think, you know, Anyway, I'm a big admirer of Will, and I'm a Will defender, and people just need to shut up sometimes. All right. And yeah, but they're also non-homophobes who are unhappy with the scene. I've heard the word cringe coming from various quarters describing it, but whatever that means, it comes from different quarters. It's expressed by some people who are, pro-equality, pro-gay, that this is not a realistic coming out scene. It absolutely is not realistic, and I do have my criticisms of this scene. It would have made more sense for him to come out to his mother alone first. However, the overall logic needs to be recognized. He was told he had 5 minutes, and he didn't know that he had 5 minutes until he heard that. And he needs to get this out of the way. And so he was basically coming out before he was ready. And this scene, if it feels off to people, uncomfortable, I'll say more in a second, but I think it was not a satisfying coming out scene for a reason. And I think that this being this penultimate episode, basically things in this episode are set up for the finale. We can't just judge things before this series is over. And really, did we think that Will's, the central character of this season's emotional arc, would be over before the finale? Did people think that? Really? That doesn't make sense. And I think that there were things that were off in this scene that were deliberate, and I'll get to that. I'm going to revise my BylerMeter. I had it at 70%. I lowered it to 70% at the end of my post-analysis of episode 7. But I'll get to that in a second. But I just want to emphasize that for this coming out scene, Will, just 24 hours before, was pursuing Mike. We saw that on screen. He was talking to Robin when they were setting up the radio tower to charge that Demogorgon, and asking her what gave her the courage, or when did she start to, date Vicky. And I think he was.
And, if I hadn't have told Steve, then I probably wouldn't have had the courage to open up to Vicky about it, and probably wouldn't be talking to you about it either. You're only audience member number 3. I'm hoping to double my audience by the end of this year, but...
And I think something changed between then and this scene, possibly just as Vecna made him see something, a nightmare of his loved ones leaving him if he were to come out, that he saw something that made him think that Mike doesn't like him back. There's no chance. So here's my Tumblr post that I made recently that shows why I think that it's quite likely that Byler will happen. I write, "If I'm going crazy, let's go crazy together. Will suppressing his love for Mike sets up, more than before, a Mike love confession being key to Will's power." So many things to talk about after episode 7. But isn't Will calling Mike just his crush a red flag? He loves Mike with his very being. Doesn't this remind you of Mike's love confession, quote unquote, in season 4? When he said he fell in love with Elle the moment he saw her. For those not in the know, he tried to get her sent to a mental institution before he realized that she was in danger and could be useful in finding Will. Okay? Isn't that the kind of thing that good writers would plant, that catch your attention as false, that tell you this is not a fully honest confession, that this will lead to a payoff later? How can Will really take on Vecna if he's suppressing his love and who he is, and his words and actions? And that was my take, by the way, on Sorcerer. If you saw my review, it's him being comfortable with who he is that gives him strength, okay? And his words and actions in the coming out scene still convey a sense of defensiveness and shame about being gay. Like he is still a mistake and needs assurance that people will not leave him. He's coming out before he's ready due to circumstance. What he did was courageous and its own triumph. But the scene evokes conflicting feelings that give you the sense that Will is still miserable. And there's one way to fix that. The way that had always been my, and that of many other Bylers, my first theory. Will has accepted that he's never going to find love. He said so in season 3. Will's power is fueled by love and gay empowerment. And yet this scene didn't feel like either. there was, quote, acceptance from his friends, but Will held back in the scene. Max was saved by Lucas. No one tells straight people they're wrong to need and desire a romantic love. And many of us Bylers have always theorized that Mike loves Will, but doesn't know whether Will likes him back. And now he knows. And the ball's now in his court. So doesn't Will sharing what he did share, in fact, objectively advance Byler? After Will's self-acceptance gave him powers in Sorcerer, it threw a wrench in my running theory at the time that Mike's confession of love would fuel Will's superpowers at a key moment. What would Mike add if Will already has powers after accepting himself? But now we're shown that Will cannot defeat Vecna head-on in his current state and needs to continue his coming-out journey. We'll see what happens. But this step forward, coming out, combined with a setback in Will's journey, denying himself romantic love, actually makes it make more sense for a Mike love confession to fuel Will's power than before. Let's remember that if this happens, it will have been directly foreshadowed when Will told Mike in the van, talking about Elle, but really about himself. But you make her feel like she's not a mistake, that she's better for being different. And that gives her the courage to fight on. And he said that he needs Mike and he always will. Okay. So he's not over Mike. Mike's not a crush. He and the show told us he will always need Mike. And this directly contradicts getting over his crush, and he will especially need him when fighting Vecna. But it won't be the stoic, suppressing his emotions Mike the Brave who saves him. No, it would be Mike the Heart who helps Will be a hero and save the world. So my BylerMeter, I currently have it at 90%. And I feel kind of crazy saying this. And, you know, if we're going to go crazy, folks, we might as well go crazy together. But I was just thinking about it more over time, you know, what I wrote in my Tumblr post. And I just think that it's what all of the arrows point to. It's the most satisfying. It would be logical. It would make all of the seemingly poor writing choices make sense, that they were building up for this. And it would, there's just the whole evidence, a body of evidence that I've chronicled in my videos. And the Duffers told Mike's actor that in the van scene, when Finn was asking, why is it that I'm so clueless about the meaning of the painting? Why don't I see what's going on here? The Duffers told him,
don't worry, it'll pay off in the end.
So I think the painting lie is going to pay off. And it's Chekhov's gun that will fire. I also have faith in the Duffers' ambitions and that they want to tell a good story, a send-off with the series that they're probably going to be known as their main work for the rest of their lives. So we'll be crazy together, folks, and we're going to hold each other's hands as our ship possibly sinks into the ocean like the Titanic. And I got to say to Netflix and the Duffer Brothers and Sean Levy, if this is queer bait, fuck you. You held our hopes, you strung us along for so long, but hopefully I don't have to say that, and I reserve my time for rebuttal.
Split up.
Okay. Mike and Will being blocked together. I have faith. I have faith we're gonna have, come on, the longest running, perhaps strongest relationship in the series needs development, folks. Okay, here we go. My one thing I was looking for was Mike and Will scenes together. They have to resolve this shit. Will said he had a crush on Mike, and Mike knows for the first time Will's gay and had a crush on him. And Mike saved his life.
You want some? What you said earlier at the squawk? I'm sorry. I should have been there for you. And I wasn't. And
anyway, my Byler hopes is going up because they're at the start of the episode establishing they're gonna be interacting this episode. Okay, if this is Byler, he's not expressing his love, obviously, but he's expressing his best friendship. He wants to be there for his best friend, and this is a real thing. And I'm sorry, there was a comment. If the point was Will going through his coming out arc and realizing that his crush was this Tammy, then why the fuck have his crush be his best friend since childhood who's the main character? Like, this is queerbait if they don't pay off, because it could have been somebody he met in California. Or I don't know. It could have been. And it could have been lighthearted and not have so much emotional weight and not have so much baggage. If Byler's happening, then he's just trying to make things right with Will, but he's not prepared to confess at this time.
But what matters is that you're still here. And you still think we can be friends.
Yeah.
Friends?
Best friends.
Best friends.
Yeah. Hug.
All right, come on. We've got a planet to catch.
Okay, what the hell is taking them so long?
Alright. Alright. Happy.
I don't know.
What's going on with Will? Will, attend to your boyfriend, Mike.
Will!
Of course Mike notices, because Mike has brilliant Wildar. No!
Friends just left you here, huh?
Stupid Dr. K. Yeah, you know, you're not gonna give away L. You both agree on that. Collie's giving permission. Collie's a hero, you guys. I don't care what people say. Collie. 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 My girl. You looked death in the face, and you knew the right thing to do. That was just a decision by Collie. That was heroic. Kill him! Snap his neck! Just do it! Yeah. Wait, did she get shot? Oh my god, Elle's still gonna lose her sister. Is she gonna be more alone? It's gonna make her not want to live.
Don't cry, Jane.
Don't cry, Jane. This is what a hero would say. Fuck you! For Eddie! You're gonna die for that shit. Several people against you, Vecna. Will sees it all.
I'm not afraid anymore.
Yeah, Will. Will and Evac L.
You fucked with the wrong family.
Yeah, you did.
You go ahead and go home.
Run away this time.
All of revenge for all of the deaths. Every single death.
Will, wake up!
Every single trauma.
I just want this to be over.
Alright, cut his head off. Still loves Elle, no question. What's going on?
You have to get out!
No,
What's about to happen?
this is teaching me what it means to be a friend.
No, please.
Mike knows what's about to happen.
You understand me better than anyone. You've seen me.
This is real. Mike doesn't want to lose Elle. Whatever he understands the relationship to be, he's not going to lose Elle.
I love you.
Here's a kiss.
Goodbye, Mike.
Alright. We're gonna talk about queer baiting now. This felt like a real intense Mike's gonna lose the love of his life, and this was genuine love. But this show, I refuse to be gaslighted and told I'm wrong, planted that his love was repaired for Elle at the end of season 4 by Will's veiled love confession. It was Will's veiled love confession. And if this was all about Will coming to terms with his, I'm in love with my best friend, but I'm not going to get him, you needed to resolve this for now. Because if you brought people's hopes up until now, that was really fucked up. I don't know if I need to say any more about that. This is the bomb. Oh my god. Bylers do not want Elle to die. We didn't want this to happen. Elle deserves the world. She deserves a normal life. And I don't know. At least from until I pause, it looks like she's dead. Okay, objectively speaking, this means more time for Mike to understand what his feelings for Will might be, but Elle didn't deserve this.
For all of that, Strahd von Du.
I love that Max, who claimed to not like D&D, is playing D&D with the party, who claimed to be too, when she was disconnected from Lucas in season 4, you know, was claiming to not like D&D, but she's totally in. Will is wearing his epilogue outfit that we were talking about as Byler's in Tumblr. So we'll see what if Will's out of the closet.
This game is bullshit.
I agree.
Goddamn waste of time.
Strahd takes great pleasure in your anger. Time to join your friends, sorcerer.
Just get it over with and roll.
From darkened paths and secrets deep, come forth and help your promise keep.
The Mage of St. Markovia! His body shrivels, burns, and turns to ash.
This is so season 1 finale callbacks. If you watch the last scene, this is totally calling back to that.
Comfort and happiness? Could you be more trite? I thought you were some kind of master storyteller or something.
With each passing day, their love grows stronger. It's time for the occasional adventure.
Steve? Aww.
As for Will the Wise, he travels far and long to the bustling city of Vallaki, from the village where he spent his youth. But it isn't long before he finds his...
Oh my god, is this epilogue boyfriend territory?
It's overwhelming.
We will see.
And with that, deep happiness and acceptance.
And the storyteller. What about him?
Stories inspired by his friends. One day, he hopes their tales the story of the mage.
What's going on? Anyway, I'm sorry. My Byler hope's gone down to 1% right now. Because the supposed happy ending is Will. I don't know. We will see.
He can... The mage you saw die was not real. She was an illusion.
Living a life free from the government. It's not even clear whether she's actually alive.
I believe. I believe.
Guys, what's going on?
Season 1 callback.
Yeah, we...
Will.
Jesus, watch out!
She's your son.
Definitely
like
something.
No.
Derek. Is that the end? They're fucking playing David Bowie's Heroes now. What's going on? This okay, one, this was queerbait. And they're leaving ambiguous because Mike and Will is not completely precluded. Mike is clearly 18 months after the death of Elle, is still dealing with the loss of her and is not ready to move on. And Will is moving on, being his gay self. That's good. It's like, a token happy ending for a gay person. But the relationship of Mike and Will is not, there's no clue even that might happen. But they're ending with David Bowie's Heroes. A song about forbidden love against all odds. It's about two people who kiss in the shadow of the Berlin Wall, which we Bylers had hoped Mike and Will would have. Anyway, clearly I'm disappointed, and I'll have thoughts in a future recording. So I guess the nod is D&D kids imagining future. It's like tokenism. It's about like, oh, you can make your own headcanons and dream. But it's tokenism. It's a little nod. It's a fudge on what they could have done. It's a fudge on what Duffer Brothers, Sean Levy, and the Netflix could have done. No criticism to the actors who did their best. This is on the writers and on the network. I do wonder if the it's true that the Duffer Brothers had planned Mike and Will to be together, and Netflix shut down their plans because there's so much deliberate preparation of them over the seasons. And it doesn't make sense for them not to have at least a hint of Mike and Will being together at this point. And at the last moments, it's completely, you have to kind of headcanon it. It just seems like Mike is grieving the loss of Elle. And the minimum that the show should have done, if the Duffer Brothers and the creators, who were not the network, should have done, was to dispel the rumors that Mike and Will were going to be together. Now, I heard that I've been avoiding the internet, that, and so I don't know about other statements from other actors that might have tried to lessen people's hopes. That doesn't matter. What matters was what the creators did. The creators were the ones who could have finally dispelled the speculation about it, and they didn't do it. So this was queerbait, by definition. And David Bowie's Heroes is the consolation prize. Like, what is this supposed to mean? Like, this is supposed to be a song about people being heroes and having forbidden love, even at the moment of their death. A heroic love. And you couldn't even hint at it. This is cheap. I don't know. David Bowie's song being the choice makes me wonder. I'll have to look back at the scenes and wonder if Byler was hinted at in subtext. But the vast majority of viewers will look at the cutscene about Will in a gay bar and think that's his future, and it's not with Mike. And think Mike is straight. That's it. Period. And this is just a consolation prize that doesn't... it's only for people, a small minority, to, like, you know, thrive on AO3, archive of on our own, and then subtext. So it doesn't commit to Malevolent on the one hand. It's trying to fudge. It's claiming to not betray Byler's by being like, Mike isn't with 11. However, he's mourning the loss of 11, which is enough for the homophobes. It's enough for them to conclude he's completely fucking straight. And the people like me and other people who thought, at least might be ambiguous, that it's possible that someone who dates the opposite sex might possibly not be straight, to not be that, it gaslights us. And it's wrong. That's what I'll say. Is that the fucking scene with Mike and Will standing in the field? It is. It fucking is. They hedged their bets. Alright. Alright. As I said in my public video, if they queerbait us, we were not in the wrong. The Duffer Brothers, Sean Levy, and Netflix, one or all of them are in the wrong. And we're not going to be silenced. Just, you can't silence our yearning to be who we are, to be fully human. You just can't. All right, I'll go save any future comments for a future post-analysis. See you on the other side.